Yo, what's up guys, it's NLW here, back again with another video. Today, something that I know a lot of you may find helpful. That's because NLW has been going on for nearly 10 years now, with nearly 100 episodes and multiple pay-per-views. I do have a playlist on this channel with every episode ever, so if you do ever want to go back and watch it in chronological order, you can do so. But for newer fans, it may be difficult to get into the product because, well, there's so much backstory and history, plus questions like what are the brands, who are the champions, what different series are there, and how do they relate, or are they brand exclusive pay-per-views, and how many are there for instance. So in this video, I'm going to explain the basics about NLW for both new fans and people who just want a refresher. I'll condense everything that you need to know about No Limits Wrestling. And just quickly before I do that, like the video to help get this video out to more people. Also subscribe and comment below after this video with any questions you may have regarding NLW. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, let's start off with the brands of No Limits Wrestling. First of all, we've got the Blue brand, the original No Limits Wrestling series. This has been going on for 91 episodes dating back to 2012. Many historic moments have happened on this show, including title changes, returns, and shocking debuts. It may be confusing to some people because No Limits Wrestling is both the name of the show and the name of the company. However, I've kept it this way just to continue the lineage that we started back nearly 10 years ago. To sum up, for the purposes of story, it's a live show like Monday Night Raw or AEW Dynamite, so matches tend to be shown in full. And in 2013, I began a second show. This was called NLW Metal, the black and red brand. This is more like ECW Hardcore TV used to be in the 90s, with match highlights as opposed to full-length matches. A bit less polished than NLW, a bit grittier, kinda like ECW and the Attitude Era. Back when it first started, Metal was similar to how SmackDown was in the Attitude Era, continuing the stories from NLW episodes. That was until 2017, when I decided to have a brand split, splitting the rosters between the NLW show and the Metal show. Since then, wrestlers have been exclusive to either NLW or Metal, and that is how things are to this day. Perhaps think of it like WWE having Raw and SmackDown, whereas No Limits Wrestling has NLW and Metal, two separate brands under the same company. In fact, last month, I uploaded a video with the complete rosters for both shows, which you can find right now on my channel. There's also a brand new show from No Limits Wrestling. It's called NLW Turbo, which you can find exclusively on my second channel, NLW Figs. The link is in the description to that channel. And Turbo is kind of like Sunday Night Heat, WWE Main Event, or AEW Dark, with recaps as well as some exclusive pick-fed matches featuring top-level talent in addition to some new up-and-coming stars. Wrestlers from both shows can compete on Turbo, as it is an extension of NLW and Metal. In addition, No Limits Wrestling has multiple pay-per-view events a year. There tends to be usually about 2 or 3 pay-per-views, followed by a Royal Rumble, another pay-per-view, and then WrestleMania, which is the biggest show in No Limits Wrestling's calendar. There have been 4 NLW WrestleManias, and I can tell you that WrestleMania 5 I hope to get done next year. Now, there is a brand split in place. Any pay-per-view that's not the Rumble or WrestleMania is a brand exclusive event. For instance, NLW Enter the Dragon was NLW exclusive. The next show is Metal exclusive and is called Ungovernable, which will be headlined by the Elimination Chamber match, and that starts on April 10th here on this channel. And for people who know the channel, you may be asking, well, what about NLW 24/7? Well, NLW 24/7 is completely separate to all of the shows that I've already mentioned. It does not fall under the same umbrella as Metal, NLW, or Turbo, or any of the pay-per-views. It is its own unique show on the side, non-canon to the goings-on in the regular No Limits Wrestling universe. It's a much more spontaneous show, with title changes happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anything can happen. Think of it as a dream match fantasy series, if you will. Once again, completely separate to the rest of the No Limits Wrestling universe. And you also may be asking, when are these shows uploaded? Well, there are new episodes every single Saturday on this very channel. This Saturday will be Metal, the Saturday after will be NLW, the Saturday after that will be Metal, and so on until, of course, there's a pay-per-view event, in which case parts will be released every Saturday. Turbo is released every 2 or 3 weeks on the NLW Figs channel, so you should go and subscribe to be notified of those uploads. As for NLW 24/7, you can usually expect matches to be shown on Wednesdays, although the schedule is always subject to change. And if you want to be kept up to date with those changes, you can follow me on Instagram at NLWstagram. The link is in the description. So, I've explained the shows and how they work. I've told you about the rosters. As I said previously, you can find a video on my channel detailing the complete rosters, but what about the championships? Well, let's go through those championships, and who are the current champions in the company. On NLW, the top prize is the NLW Championship, formerly known as the NLW World Title, and simply the World Heavyweight Title. This is currently held by Daniel Bryan, who beat Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 4 last June. There's also a Mr. Money in the Bank. He is Jeff Hardy. He won the briefcase at WrestleMania 4 and can cash in at any time between now and the next WrestleMania. There's also some mid-card titles, such as the X Division title, held by Ricochet, who defeated Will Ospreay back in August on NLW episode 73, the NLW Tag Team Championships, held by the Young Bucks, who beat the New Day on episode 80 back in October, and the Women's title, held by Rowdy Ronda Rousey, who beat Ember Moon to win the title back in January. Out of all the championships, the Women's title is the only one that can be defended on both NLW and Metal. On Metal, the top prize is the Metalweight Championship. This is currently held by Tetsuya Naito, who cashed in Money in the Bank on Samoa Joe at our Royal Rumble 4 event. Plus, Metal is the home to the Intercontinental Championship, currently held by Sami Zayn, who beat Cody Rhodes on episode 61 of Metal back in September. And I can exclusively reveal in this video that tomorrow on Metal, you will see the return of the Hardcore Championship. It will be defended exclusively on Metal, and there will be a match at Ungovernable to decide a new champion. And to find out who's going to be in that match, tune into Metal this Saturday. So now, we've explained the shows, the championships, and the top champions on each brand. But to fully understand NLW, let's give you a brief overview of the history of this company. As mentioned previously, NLW was started back in 2012 with 4 short episodes to kick off its original run, which led into our first ever pay-per-view entitled Intensity, headlined by John Cena versus The Undertaker to crown the first ever NLW champion, won by The Undertaker. And Cena and The Undertaker was the first proper rivalry in NLW. The first ever show to feature commentary was episode 8. If you want to have a laugh, go back and watch that show and hear how much my voice has changed. And it was that episode that led to perhaps our biggest pay-per-view at the time, which was entitled Uprising. This featured an Elimination Chamber main event, which to this day is the most viewed video on this channel. Follow that up with the second most viewed video on this channel, the first ever NLW Royal Rumble, won by Triple H. We made history again the next month by having the first ever War Games match, and then in May of 2014, we built the first ever NLW WrestleMania, headlined by the world title on the line, Triple H beating Shawn Michaels in the main event, plus another huge match, one of the biggest rivalries ever in this company as The Undertaker battles Sting. And if we were to christen this whole era, I guess we could call it the Across the Nation era, as that was the theme song to No Limits Wrestling at the time. And in January 2015, we hosted an event on NLW episode 27 entitled Cross the Line, which kickstarted a whole new era of No Limits Wrestling, which we could call perhaps the NWO era, and I'll get to why in a moment. On this show, we had the historic Triple Cage match where Sting captured the world title. You fast forward to the summer of 2015 and AJ Styles cashed in Money in the Bank on Sting, holding it for nearly 2 years, engaging in a bitter feud with CM Punk, including an Iron Man match, and The Undertaker, including a match at WrestleMania 2 and a match inside Hell in a Cell. But perhaps what sums up this era more than anything was the rise of the NWO. If you want a full backstory for that entire rivalry, you can watch NLW Metal episode 29 on this channel, which goes through the entire storyline in a special episode. The New World Order recruited the likes of Michaels, Rollins and others, and they were headed by who you now know today as the Commissioner. And when the Commissioner first came into the company, he was behind the camera, you couldn't see him, he made his on-screen presence felt as an authority figure, then turned heel to join the NWO. And he's been trying to get control of the company between about 2015 and 2018, but WrestleMania 2 was a pivotal point for this company, as the NWO were disbanded. Following on from this, we could perhaps call it the Austin era, as Stone Cold was announced as the brand new commissioner, leading to a change in presentation, a change in logo, plus a power struggle storyline, which saw Stone Cold have control of NLW and the commissioner have control of Metal for the NLW draft. The biggest show in company history was on the horizon at this time in 2018, WrestleMania 3, which you can find in full on this channel. A 4-hour extravaganza was originally going to be the end of this company, but I decided I wanted to continue No Limits Wrestling after. It saw some of the biggest storylines ever on this card, including Austin versus CM Punk, Rollins finally winning the world title, Kevin Owens making Triple H say I quit, and even more. The company took a brief hiatus after this show, with episodes coming less frequently, but they still provided many classic moments, including the Metal G1 Climax tournament, crowning a first ever metalweight champion, the rise of Daniel Bryan into the main event, Bret Hart versus Seth Rollins, Undertaker forming the Ministry, and Kurt Angle having been undefeated in the company for 3 years until a string of disappointing losses, shocking everyone and winning the Royal Rumble. Cut to 2020 last year, we had WrestleMania 4 featuring high-profile matches such as Adam Cole versus John Cena, The Undertaker versus Kenny Omega, Stone Cold versus Randy Orton, and even more. And as of last September, NLW is now weekly again, coming out with weekly episodes every Saturday since September. And in 2021, I aim to make an even more exciting product than before. Get back some of that hype and that drama, the suspense that you fans have been craving. And I can tell you that Metal's Ungovernable is one of my favourite shows I've ever made, and if you want to catch it in full right now before anyone else, you can do so by signing up to Patreon. All you have to do, click the Patreon link in the description. For just $3, you get the whole thing, plus access to some exclusive NLW matches. Just remember, you have to be at least 13 years or older to sign up. But if you're interested, the link's in the description. There's a bunch of tiers you can get, including one where you can request your own match. The only way you can do that is by signing up to Patreon. The link in the description if you're interested. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at NLWstagram for all the latest info and updates from this channel, including new video updates. For more videos like this one, you can subscribe to my second channel, that's NLW Figs. I upload exclusive action figure setups, reviews of shows and figures, plus NLW Turbo episodes, which has some exclusive pick-fed matches you can only see on that channel. And I hope to do more videos like this one, where I go into the history of No Limits Wrestling in more depth. So go over and click the link in the description to subscribe to NLW Figs today. If you've been watching me for years, thank you very much, and if you're new, thank you as well. I hope that this video helps to explain what No Limits Wrestling is and what it's about. Like the video if you enjoyed, it helps get the video out there to more people, and comment down below any questions you may have about NLW or how NLW works. Maybe you've got a question about a certain storyline going on right now and why it's happening. I can maybe explain it for you. Also comment down below, when did you first start watching No Limits Wrestling? I want to know, I want to hear your stories. Hit that subscribe button so you're notified of uploads. That's it from me. Leave your questions in the comments and I will catch you guys later.